Welcome back to CSF, where we try and cover what people want to know. Lately, more people have been asking me about crypto, so I figured I'd make a video and a general overview pretty much of what the space is about. I've been in the space since 2017. I have investments in a couple different coins, but before we talk about crypto, I actually want to talk about blockchain. What is blockchain? Blockchain is a network that serves as a database with a variety of functions. One, it can be used as a database that can manage and store information for transactions for buyers, sellers, traders, like trading stocks or trading crypto, or assets such as like homes, vehicles, goods, and services. It's also used for data transfers, whether like money, but in digital form, kind of like the way your bank uses it for when it uses like third-party services to transfer between people, or it can also be used as a flexible form that's interchangeable with one another. And what I mean is, crypto is pretty much data. Like I said, it's digital form of money. However, that money is interchangeable with other types of assets like digital artwork, digital games, digital audio. And the differences between being able to purchase it now and then the way in the future you'll be able to purchase it is you'll have rights to those type of media files, whether it's audio, video, or other types of assets for like gaming. But that we'll cover in another video because that has to do with NFTs. NFT stands for non-fungible token. So that's a whole nother beast. So we'll talk about that in the next video or a different time. One of the biggest differences between our old system and this system that's coming up, which is blockchain and cryptocurrency, is decentralization. Traditionally, we've had banks and governments maintain all our data, and that includes our physical money in digital form and as well as their information. And people don't seem to like really understand that your data is so valuable. Think about it. Facebook, Google, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok all use our data to benefit themselves. And they're some of the largest world collectors of our data in the world. And if you're not generally paying for the product or the service, you're probably the product. So people who were in GameStop probably think this because they may have gotten screwed over by a certain exchange that I won't name, or a certain broker that I won't name. So yeah, keep in mind, if it's free, generally your data is being used. So with blockchain, you also have transparency, a huge issue right now. Most blockchains are public, meaning that anyone has access to view the data. The use cases could be used in government, asset management, or funding management. Theoretically, in government, those transactions could be tracked to see what companies support what politician. Like, is oil donating to a certain politician, or is clean energy donating to a different politician? And not only that, but where are they getting their money from? Where do they, what types of clients or customers do they have? Is it like legit money? Is it like shady money? And it's just a way where things can be seen more transparently, and you can ultimately make better decisions. So donations can be tracked, and you can see where the money goes, where it flows, how it's spent, and how it's used pretty much. So when you donate right now, you really don't know how much of your money is actually getting to the cause that you're sending it to, or the person you're sending it to. Through blockchain, all those transactions can be tracked, and you can see exactly where it goes. So you can see who gets what cut. Voting is another huge thing for me personally. Right now we use the electoral process in the US where we cast our vote. It gets sent somewhere, and then the machine or people count it. And to me, the machines are more likely to make mistakes, as well as people, obviously. Personally, I would rather trust like a public code, that it's written in the system how it functions. Not everyone can read it, so coding is going to be a big thing, especially in blockchain. There's some of the most well-paid jobs right now, and are in constant demand. Let's see. I'm just checking out some stuff that I don't forget to cover, just because there's so much stuff. So in blockchain, code is law. And what I mean by that is whatever is written is what it's able to do. I know here kind of we have like, oh, this person did this, but in this situation it's okay, or there might be like little gray areas. No, in blockchain, code is law. So what I do like about it, we can use Bitcoin as an example. Um, Once a transaction is made, it is pretty much set in stone. As far as I know, they're not reversible. They're not. Um, they can't be altered. They can't be removed. So this works very well for the next point I want to bring. In Venezuela and Argentina, we had an issue. I think it was Venezuela, um, where the government and their banking system kind of collapsed. Their homes that they paid for, at least some people said they paid for them, and they had the deed and everything, the title. Their homes were still lost to the government or the banks. And the problem with that is, like, even if you have the title or the paperwork, if it doesn't show up on their system for whatever reason, whether the system is hacked, whether the system was tampered with, whatever it is, whatever the system is, will be. And when it's centralized, it's just easier to hack because it's only one point of failure. In decentralization, it's a whole network of computers all over the world and it's made public. So once it's on there, a government technically, theoretically, can't say like, oh, this hasn't been paid for. This is incorrect. Whatever it shows is what it is, and it's made public for everyone to view. So you can avoid situations like that. Because more often than not, you'd be surprised how much it happens in different parts of the world. I had a uncle a few years ago. He invested in some real estate in Mexico. They started building some homes, and I guess a couple of his friends or other people in the community funded that project. Unfortunately, one day the government came and said they weren't allowed to build there, and all those houses were torn down, and the people that they worked with disappeared. So that happens a lot in different countries. Luckily, we're in the US, so I haven't heard of anything happening like that, but around the world, it's more common. Um, so, what I want to kind of follow up with is security. If you don't know what belongs to who, or if you don't know if the system can be tampered with, that creates many issues. Like I said, luckily in America, we don't have to deal with stuff like that, but it can always be improved, not only around the world, but also here as well. So a few years ago, the FBI actually got hacked because their system is centralized, a point of failure. So what I want to show really quick is, here you go. So this was back in 2019. Hackers published personal data on thousands of U.S. police officers and federal agents, FBI. Hacker group has breached several FBI-affiliated websites and uploaded their contents to the web, including dozens of files containing personal information of thousands of federal agents and law enforcement officers. The hackers breached 3 sites associated with FBI National Academy Association. So they pretty much breached, grabbed their info, and put it up on their site. And they're supposed to be taking care of us, you know? So if they can't even take care of themselves, how are they going to take care of us? So the problem is when something is centralized, it can be equally it can be equally well, it can be a weakness. Let's just put it that way, just for simple terms, because when something is in one place, in one location, let's say you stash all your money in one location, it can be gone. It's like a bank system is centralized. Our data and information, if the government has it all in one place, that can be a weakness for our system. With blockchain technology, that system can be mitigated even better, or the risk can be brought down by a huge amount, in my opinion. So that's always good. Peer-to-peer. So with blockchain, you have the ability to transfer funds without any third parties, without any banks or any intermediaries. Not only that, but for people who make contracts, or people who, let's think of another one, a real estate agent, a broker, anything like that that requires a third party service or third party person won't be needed in the future anymore. The reason why I say this is because all the contracts will be automated. Recently, I took out, how much was it? I believe you have to have a minimum of about 20K in BlockFi, and they use your assets as collateral. So I had some of my assets there, and I took out 10K because that's the minimum, half of your assets value. So I took out 10K. The whole process took me about 8 minutes, I would say. I didn't have to talk to anybody. They had all my information on there. I did everything myself. Super easy, super low cost compared to banks. And it was just a great experience overall. I think the way they deposited my funds, I requested a stable coin, which we'll get into later in another video as well. But the way I did it is I wanted them to pay me out in a cryptocurrency, which is pegged to the dollar. So the transaction would be easier since I was planning to use that to buy other assets in the crypto space. What I did is I created the BlockFi, I had my assets on there, I requested a loan, all done in 8 minutes, and then the funds were transferred over to my account in about, I would say, less than 48 hours, which is super, super quick. And those funds were able to they were verified already, so I can move those funds from one account to another account without any issues. The reason why I bring this up is because generally when you move money from one account to another, the bank has to clear it, and that clearing process can take 3 to 7 days, sometimes 10 business days. The banks don't work effectively as they could. Blockchain removes that issue. Not only that, but accountability. See, we have a problem where money seems to get lost in the United States a lot. I'm not sure if you guys read this, but there was a time when we sent some money over to, I believe it was Iraq, and we lost a lot of money. So the easiest way to send money sometimes, or the fastest way I should say, is to grab X amount of money, let's say $1 billion, and send it on a plane across the world. If I want to like send money from here to, let's say, Japan or China, I can't do a wire transfer or a bank transfer because it'll take so long if I need it to be there same day or next day. And then you also incur higher fees. And to the average person, they might not think that's important, but everything in our system is connected. The reason why I say it's important, one, for accountability. The US lost billions of dollars a while back ago of money. Where does that money come from? That comes from your pocket. That's taxpayer money. Are they going to print it out of thin air? Maybe. Our system has been printing out money since COVID, if you saw my last video. So it is interesting to think if we had a better, more efficient system in place where there was, one, more accountability, since everything is on the blockchain, it's secure, it's trackable, and it's quicker to move and transact in. So that is very, very big. No banks are needed. No third parties are needed. From me to you, there's no limit. The only limit is how much you have in your bank account, and there's just so many possibilities in the space with blockchain. So I just want to summarize on what blockchain and what cryptocurrency is. So blockchain is pretty much the system that is used. Cryptocurrency is the form of data used to facilitate the types of movements or actions in our system. Just like when we move money to a bank from one account to another in the digital format though. Cryptocurrency works in the same way. The difference is crypto, you are able to move it whenever you want. It's more adaptable and it removes the third parties. I really, really like the fact that we can once again transact with people from around the world without having to use a bank. Why? One, fees and efficiency. Speed, which equals efficiency. I'm a big believer in being efficient as we can, and lately I've seen so many issues with our system One, voting. We had issues with voting. It took months for us to count up votes, which could have been done in a few minutes through blockchain. I believe the U.S. Postal Service is working on something like that. If you want, I'll even Google it real quick. Let's Google it, so you guys don't think I'm messing with you. USPS blockchain technology. Google pretty much finished it for me. So we can check right here in Forbes. So United States Patent and Trademark Office published a patent application filed by the USPS. The patent claims that a combination of the security of the blockchain and the mail service provides a reliable voting system. A registered voter receives a QR code by mail, separation of voter identification, and votes to ensure voter anonymity. How do you say it in Finding Nemo?
You can go now.
Well, hello! Who is this?
I'm Nemo.
Well, Nemo, all new explorers must answer a science question.
Okay.
You live in what kind of home? Okay, don't hurt yourself. Welcome aboard, explorers!
It's the principal feature of the solution. The voters are stored on a blockchain attested by election officials. So it's a more secure way, it's a quicker way. We can avoid any issues of fighting, bickering, recounts, conspiracy issues, because personally, I don't know what happens to my vote when I vote. I don't know if I can trust our current system of computers or the people that run them. We have to have faith in a system that doesn't seem to be the most effective or efficient system out there for these types of important decisions. And with blockchain, that can be removed, and it's already being worked on. So there's a lot of things that blockchain can do, and cryptocurrency is the encryption process that kind of helps you do that in coins, as data, as information. It's more secure, it's quicker, it's more efficient. Now, will this be here to stay? I personally think so. Why? So here's a quote that I'll leave you guys with. It's not the strongest or most intelligent species that survives. It's the most able to adapt to change. And with that, I would say thank you for listening. Enjoy your Sunday. Happy Easter. And I'll see you guys next week.